quick update on the weather for MeteoMark, MeteoMark.com, April 22nd, 2013. Let's get right into this storm. Last week's models actually were looking much more impressive than this week's models. But let's take a look at current photos that people have sent in. Some of my loyal viewers here. We're going to take a look here at Kyle Kinkoff here in Cleveland, Ohio. No leaves on the trees yet. You can see this is the story across the north. The April, the April without a spring, if you want to call it, across here at the northeast. And here we go. Look at this. Still no leaves on the trees yet. Here's a nice sky shot that Kyle snapped here near in Cleveland, Ohio. Very nice blue sky, signifying some really cool air, a cool air mass. And at least one of the trees is bloomed here in this picture. At least one has bloomed, at least. That's the key. We only have a few things blooming up north here, and that's pretty much it for the north. We don't have too much in the way of going on of blooming across the northern states. Things have been we've been dealing with a really cool air mass for this time of year. If we take a look at an area, actually, before I exit the northeast, let's take a look at thunderstorm. Here we go, thunderstorm in and around 7 p.m. I believe this was Friday, end of last week, from Derek Rentschler. And here's a thunderstorm approaching. I'm assuming this is from the west. And you can see a very, very nice cloud deck here. Very dark skies in the background here. And in the foreground you got still a little bit of light, but thank you, Derek, for sending that in. And this was that thunderstorm complex that moved through the northeast. It was the one that prompted the tornado warning. It was part of the same complex that prompted the tornado warning here in Broome County, New York, where just exactly in the county that MeteoMark Studios is located here. So this is actually, I'm glad someone got a picture of this. And I've got a little clip of the heavy rain moving through here. You can see it. There's a nice clip of the heavy rain. I did not actually get any thunder or lightning, but I got a wind gust to 26 miles per hour. So that's pretty much it. But most of the tornadic activity was on the eastern end of Broome County. I'm on the western end of Broome County. So I will do a kind of a National Weather Service has done a survey, and I guess there's a possibility there was a tornado. I'm going to look further into that, and I'll probably do a documentary on that if I find anything. But there was several tornado warnings out of that complex. Thank you, Derek, for sending that in. This is my video here, quick snapshot. So let's take a look at, here we go, Lucas from Linden, Texas here. Got some really nice photos. Here we go, a part of the world where we're getting some nice spring and summer-like temperatures. We got a nice quarter, I think this is a quarter moon, and nice, really nice picture here, photograph, a nice blue sky, and this, of course, the moon has been rising during the daylight hours. So there you have it, and here's some really nice macro shots of some blooming flowers, something we can only dream of across the north here. Some nice blooming flowers. Thank you very much, Lucas, for sending those in, and very nice. Wow. Got some really nice blooming flowers going on. And here's some pictures he has of storm pics from last storm front to plow through Linden, Texas. And this was probably, here we go, last week. And you can see some really nice cloud structures. Look at these cloud structures here. Got some evergreen tree here and some nice dark cloud structures. And we also have some nice ending to it. I presume this is the ending to it. Yeah, judging by actually it looks like the earlier photo. A nice sun. Look at this. This looks like, this is either a sunrise or a sunset. I'm going to guess that it's a sunset. But you can see a really nice sun here. Nice colors. Thank you, Lucas, for sending those in. As always, very, 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 very nice. I encourage you to send in your photos, your videos, or anything you may have across that's either weather-related, nature-related, landscape-related, anything for that matter. Growing related as far as gardens or whatever. Okay, let's get right into the storm prediction here for, actually what I'm getting into here is the storm prediction for, we're going to take it day by day here. Tuesday, we're getting into Tuesday. It feels like Friday to me because I have Tuesday and Wednesday off, so it's TGIF for me, unfortunately. For the rest of you, it's Monday. So let's get right into Monday, or for that matter, I'm going to cover Tuesday through pretty much Friday here. Tuesday, well, we have that front, and it's pushing across the nation here, and we're not going to see much in the way of severe weather across the nation, and the reason for it is we don't have the major digging jet stream that we did last week. We still have a digging jet stream, but it's not nearly as bad or as pronounced or negatively tilted here in the northern and central Rockies as was predicted by the models last week. But getting right into this, we have the low pressure moving up through the Great Lakes and of course the central plains here, and we'll have a little bit of snow on the backside, but it's not going to be a major blizzard or anything. And this is on the day Tuesday. We have thunderstorms extending from the Ohio Valley, Michigan, and extending down towards the Mississippi River Valley. The main threat is going to be the heavy rain, especially across Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. And I'll get more into that onto my rainfall forecast map. So if we put the maps onto motion to Wednesday, we see the low pressure and the cold front pushes its way towards the mid-Atlantic, the northeast, and the southeastern states here. And this is where we get some general thunderstorm activity, mainly south of Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. And this is where we get some overrunning rain north of the stationary and warm front here across the northeast, across New England. So that's what we're going to be looking at across the northeast, southern Canada, southern provinces of Ontario and Quebec here, and extending on into New England. We'll see probably a cool rain, but that front could undulate back and forth and actually produce some 60s and 70s even for portions of southern and central New England. Northern New England, with that backdoor cold front, you could see upper 40s in northern Maine. That's a cold spot. And as we get on, that's pretty much it. That'll be the last day of the front on Wednesday. Thursday, that system's going to move off the coast. Let's get into QPF, quantitative precipitation amounts across the nation. The big threat here across the central, eastern Midwest, central Great Lakes, and extending down towards the northern Ohio Valley. This is where we could get the lion's share of the rain, 2 to 5 inches. We're not looking at the major severe weather outbreak. The big threat is going to be the flooding, and there are a lot of rivers here in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan that are nearing record flood stage. In fact, there was one that surpassed record flood stage. I believe it was Peoria. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was Peoria. And things are going to continue to go downhill for the heavy rains across the central and southern Midwest here and portions of the southern Great Lakes. So if you're in a flood zone, heed those warnings, get to higher ground, and secure your belongings across this area. Pretty much across the eastern half of the country, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch on average across much of the nation. And that's pretty much all we're looking at across the nation right now. Out west, dry as a bell, clear as a, or should I say clear as a bell? Not dry as a bell, clear as a bell, dry as a bone across the western portions of the central, what am I saying, the west coast here, across much of North America here. No systems to speak of, so the ridge will be developing out west. Let's take a look at those temperatures. We will see pretty much moderating temperatures across the east, 60s and 70s, and here out west we'll see a moderating trend. It's across the northern tier of Midwest here where we could see some cooler temperatures with that mixture of rain and snow or snow showers. We're not going to get a major blizzard, but some areas could see upwards of several inches, as I've indicated on those maps on Tuesday and Wednesday, looking out into portions of the area. So that's pretty much what we're looking at here in temperatures. We'll see seasonably cool across the central and northern Great Lakes here, and seasonably warm here across the southwest and the central and southern states here. And we're going to continue to play with this trend here heading on into May, and I will have my May, June, July, August outlook, and it's going to feature a kind of a surprise for many of you. It's going to be cooler in many areas than was originally thought by many of the long-range models. So that's what I'm looking at right now. We're going to continue to watch that and monitor those weather patterns for the most up-to-date and accurate information. For now, I'm going to leave on a note that I I am working on my hurricane outlook. I know I've said that many times in the last couple weeks. And I am looking on my summer outlook, where areas will see the most heaviest precipitation and the most torrential rains and all that. So like me on Facebook at MeteoMark, subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com, and MeteoMark.com is my webpage. Here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers in the Susquehanna region of New York and the Susquehanna region of Northeast Pennsylvania, Binghamton, Elmira, and North Scranton. Let's take a look here. We're heading on into the day on Tuesday. Really nice. We're looking at temperatures hovering in the near 60-degree range after a cold start. Watch out for those frost and freeze advisories, heading down to 28 in some of the colder valleys. Here we're looking on into the day on Wednesday. This is where the cold front will approach from the west, the warm front from the east, and we'll get into that showers and thunderstorm activity. Most thunder showers for the most part, nothing severe. And we'll head up on our way to 67, probably a low, a little warmer than the previous days. So we're going to look at possibly a quarter to a half an inch of liquid equivalent. Heading on to today, Thursday and Friday, a little bit cooler, but we're looking seasonably mild. And we're looking in the 50s with lows in the 30s for the most part, near 40. So that's what we're looking at for the Susquehanna region. Hopefully we do not see any more frost or freeze advisories. That's going to do it for MeteoMark.